Hey everybody, welcome to the first set of lectures for our Research Methods in Psychology class. In this set of lectures, I'm going to give you kind of the lay of the land of what we're going to talk about in our class this semester, kind of tie in our project into that vision for the class, and then in a separate set of lectures, shorter one, we'll talk a little bit about scientific writing, and that will cover us for this first week. Um, so I'm going to introduce myself a little more fully in our synchronous sessions, and I already posted a little bit about myself in my introductory video, so I'm just going to dive right into some of the content here today. So in this class, we have a number of goals that I think are exemplified by just asking a few questions about ourselves and how we, understand and seek information. So when I ask you, do you believe everything you read? You probably have a pretty quick, emphatic answer to that. That no, of course, I don't believe absolutely everything that I read. But you'll find that sometimes it can be difficult to separate fact from fiction. And how do you do that? What sorts of cues do you use? That's some of the stuff we'll talk about this semester. A broader question, how do we accumulate knowledge? So is it just from experience? Is it something more programmatic? Is it just reflecting on our past? How do we actually, accumulate knowledge, especially in a scientific sense? How do we seek high quality conclusions? This goes a little bit beyond just accumulating knowledge and having some, confidence in how good those conclusions are and being able to rely on them. So how do we separate that from, just the general buildup of knowledge over a lifetime? And then finally, another important idea for this class is going to be communicating that knowledge or those types of findings. So over the course of the semester, you'll have opportunities to do quite a bit of writing, obviously, in this writing intensive class about a project that you are doing. So being able to communicate scientific findings, particularly in writing, is a big goal for this class. So over the course of this semester, we're going to cover all this space here. We'll talk about some things that you have certainly encountered before in other college classes and in high school, scientific method, how you use theories to generate hypotheses, things about research ethics and keeping participants safe and keeping privacy. Then we will dig into some more complex ideas like how we measure the concepts that we're interested in, how we balance different types of validity, and different ideas about experimental design that are maybe a little more technical than just your current understanding of what an experiment is. We'll talk about how experiments have very specific qualities to them that make them a sort of special type of study. And we'll use those qualities of an experiment being, kind of a special approach to compare and contrast with other types of studies, other observational or non-experimental studies. And we'll look at all the strengths and weaknesses between those things. Then toward the end of the course, we'll talk about peer review and publishing, something that obviously is very intertwined with that idea of scientific communication and scientific writing. And then the last set of things we'll talk about is very much entwined with peer review and publishing, the problems of replicating research and the problems that have to do with incentive structures in psychology and academia that lead to people making questionable decisions as researchers, that lead to people being either not careful enough or being outright dishonest about what they're finding. So over the course of the semester, I tend to think of different classes, and this one is no exception, as kind of telling a story and building over the course of the semester. So I think you'll see how we're learning about different types of studies, and then we're eventually getting to the point where we're talking about, well, how do we have confidence in a scientific area in general based on the accumulation of those findings in those studies. Maybe the most important part of the class, as I've kind of alluded to, is a semester project that you'll be doing. So in groups of three or perhaps some pairs, depending on how the numbers and the interests shake out, you will be testing your own hypothesis. You will design a study based on a research question that you have. You'll create a survey, you'll collect data, you'll analyze it, and over the course of the semester, you will write up an APA style report or manuscript about why you did the study, how you found what you found, how you analyzed it, and what it means. So a lot of the content of the semester will be about how to write a paper in APA style, how to write in a scientific style, what type of content and formatting goes into something like that. And that's that whole, communicating in a communicating science piece of the course. So I will talk much more about the nuts and bolts of this in our synchronous session. But if you're looking at this and wondering what you can do ahead of time, maybe the most important thing you could do is just start thinking about what you are interested in. That is the topic of reflection that you need to do, one of our short writing assignments, to just talk about the types of things that you are interested in studying. So things that you have seen in textbooks before, things you have wondered about from your own personal experience, or things like seeing things in the news or in some sort of pop culture thing like a book or movie or something. But anything about human perception and behavior that you could feasibly study with like an online survey or something like that. Just be trying to think of topics for you to study for the semester. And then in the second week, we will be forming groups in our synchronous session to send you on your way to start that project. Okay.